Welcome back to the Hushlife podcast, guys. We are deep in the center of September right now, and I couldn't be more excited about the place I'm sitting at right now, and joined by some people in this world that are absolutely amazing. I'm excited to have a conversation with them and talk through some things, but we are here in Central Idaho?
Yeah.
Central Idaho? And we are with our good buddies from Drift West. So if you guys have been watching the channel for a while, me and Gage were very fortunate to go do a bear hunt with these guys. This is Mr. Clayton Gallagher. So we'll talk about Drift West and everything they do and offer. But let me just introduce everyone. This is Clayton Gallagher, new buddy of mine right here, Brian Neal.
What's happening?
And then we have Ed Anderson. If you guys have been on our store and purchase some stuff, there's a possibility you purchase something that Ed created. Ed is an artist by trade, and he's done a few designs for us. He did our Brush for Bucks design. He's done some salmon fly stuff for us.
Yeah, it's been fun. Good projects.
You're a fantastic artist. What I love about your art is I could see a picture, and I know it's you because of your style.
I got a controlled mess going, and yeah, it's pretty recognizable, so it's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. So we're up here in Central Idaho hunting with these guys. They invited us up. Drift West does a lot of things. They book hunts, starting to guide hunts now, and they have this amazing lodge that we're sitting into right now. It's called the No Business Lodge. Where did that name come from?
No Business Mountain is that mountain that we were looking at.
Oh, no kidding.
So yeah, there's a story that a long time ago, some lady drove up there in like her Oldsmobile, and there's a fire station up on top, and blowing snow, just crappy, October, November weather, whatever it was. And the guy came out and said, "You got no business being up here." So that's the local lore of how that mountain got its name. I have no idea if that's true or not.
That's a great story. It tells. I thought it was like, if you come to the lodge, we're not doing any business. We're just going to enjoy ourselves. But
that is one of the advantages about the name, because thank God, every once in a while people are like, maybe I shouldn't look at my phone for a little while, and then Logan walks in. So it's like
that all goes down. Logan behind the camera, hanging out over there, going, what the hell? And he's looking at his phone.
We're clearly
immediately looks back down his phone,
doing some business right now. But
He's all business lodge.
I want you guys just kind of introduce yourself. Everyone has a very unique story of how they got here.
Cool, I'll go first. I'm Brian Neal.
That's perfect. So perfect.
Should be a lot of laughs.
No, Clayton, you should go first. I feel like I'm sitting too far from you right now, buddy.
Jeez.
No, me and Clayton have been buddies for a while now. Ever since he started working over here, he's been doing all kinds of stuff all around the world, learning a lot of stuff from him.
We've had some pretty cool experiences together.
Outside the heart, one of the most amazing experiences of my life was the hunt that we had out here.
Absolutely.
During rifle season 2 years ago now, right?
Yep.
3, I think.
Year before last. 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2. Yeah.
So introduce yourselves real quick first.
Sorry.
You dove into it, then you backed off on it.
Yeah. Sorry. Clayton Gallagher, hunt manager for Drift West. In charge of the hunting operations here, and kind of trying to make a mess organized. It's been a lot of fun. Having a great time.
It's your turn.
It's your turn.
Okay, I didn't want to interrupt.
You have the floor.
Interrupt. I'm Brian Neal. I buddies with Ed Anderson, and know him through my brother-in-law. That's how we first met, and invited me out here to No Business Lodge years and years ago, and been buddies ever since. Just retired from the military, and hoping to progress the kind of military outreach program through Drift West and Veterans Outdoors, and just hang out with good guys. I mean, it's always an amazing experience. You come up here. It's an awesome place.
And I'm Ed. I do art. I create most of the messes that Clayton has to clean up.
That's a fact.
A lot of creative design stuff, a lot of sales. So a lot of the people that I know through doing the artwork business, that's a lot of the customers we have. So the real interesting crew of like the hunting and fishing space come through us. So
You're definitely one of those guys. I know a few of these people in my life that are just well connected with anybody and everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, the art has been a really fun vehicle to the long and short of it is I got some art on a really good publication years and years ago, and it kind of legitimized a career for me. And I got to work with great nonprofits, great, personalities in the space. And it's really like kind of propelled everything to what we're doing here today. Just all the friends I've had, all the people I've worked with, you're kind of like, man, we've got a really cool opportunity here, and to be in a place like McCall, Idaho, looking at these mountains and get outside, and it's really inspiring for everyone, I think. I mean, and generally, we've got a fun thing going here for sure.
Without a doubt, I think one of the cool things I think about the outdoor industry is just talking to people and figuring out how they got their start in the outdoor industry. If it was, being a guide for whoever, wherever, or like working for a manufacturer, whatever it might be. But like that's the first time like art brought you into this.
Yeah, I mean, I got out of the Air Force. I was doing real estate redevelopment. I grew up playing sports. I didn't spend any time outside. I didn't hunt and fish with my dad. I never had that experience, and literally fell over backwards when the economy slipped in 2008, and I was grossly unemployed, doing chalkboards in bars and restaurants, painting pictures, working a little bit in the fishing industry, going to trade shows, and then all of a sudden the art pops, and it's like, oh shit, now I'm not supposed to swear.
No, you're good.
I was told this is for children also. If you're watching,
good luck,
don't say
children.
that. Yeah, it's a very good example, but that was not.
When did you realize that like art was one of your your thing? When did you love creating pictures and stuff when you're a child?
I've been doing art my entire life. Like, grew up with it. My mom was an artist, and so like really cultivated that thing in me. Like, that I just drew all the time. I was a really good technical drawer. Wanted to go to architecture school, got an architecture degree, but then life starts, right?
Yeah.
And let me tell you, like, the hardest way to make a living in the world is be an artist. Yeah. Like, it is, you got to not only be good at it, but you got to hustle, you got to be able to sell. It is a difficult thing, and things have to go right. But in 2008, when the bubble burst and I was doing real estate related things, everything stopped. I don't know if you remember that, but like the world literally stopped. I was unemployed, and the only trade I've ever known is using my hand to draw pictures, and I had to figure out a way to go make money and pay for life, go do things. So yeah,
that's an awesome story. I've always wondered, when can you consider yourself an artist? Like after you sell your first piece, or like?
I'm not even gonna hope to answer that question. No, I mean, I've always been a person that, like, art is an expression of the life around you. And if you are good at expressing that life to other people, and they enjoy actually looking at that thing, then you're an artist.
Yeah.
And the byproduct of that is selling some stuff. But I mean, that's just one man's opinion of what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I think that's the way I view art, is when I can look at a picture somebody's created, somebody's painted, drawn, and like I can put myself in that painting because I've either experienced that, or I'm looking at this moose right now out in the water. I've seen that 100 times in my life.
Yeah.
So I can like put myself into that painting that you have, and I'm like, man, that's cool to see because it like tells a story.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, Ed's an amazing artist. Go check out his stuff. Again, Ed's done some stuff for us that we absolutely love. This is actually my YETI. Is this a what are these, YETI tumbler or whatever? This is all dedicated to Ed Anderson art. So we got Princess Leia riding a rainbow trout, maybe a cutthroat.
Bull trout princess.
Yeah,
obviously.
McCall anglers, brush for bucks, and then this just rad fish. So it's dedicated to Ed.
I appreciate that.
No, I appreciate you.
Awesome, man.
Anyway, so the reason we're up here is these guys invited us up here. We did the bear hunt earlier this year with Clayton and Dylan. And then we started talking about elk hunting opportunities you guys have up here and what you guys are trying to do. And then Brian's name got brought up early. And we were starting to talk about Brian and this project that you guys have been working on with Brian, and like the future of it and what you guys want to kind of see go down with it. And I was like, man, sign me up for that. I want to go do this. I want to help out any way I can. And so we're up here. And so they invited us to come up here on a 5-day elk hunt. I surprised Logan. I was supposed to be the hunter, but I told Logan, I was like, you've never killed a bull with your bow. You're going to be the shooter, and we're going to go hunt with these guys. And it was amazing. It was absolutely awesome.
Yeah, it was.
We were out with Clayton and Dylan that day. And the elk hunting up here is just starting to get going right now. It's September, 17th? 18th, maybe?
Yeah, about
17th. And when we showed up, the first couple weeks were a little slow for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, there's still, you'll get into bulls, you'll hear them talking, but nothing's obviously committed. It's hot. There's not a lot of time to hunt in the morning and in the evening, but we'll still get into elk the first couple of weeks. Yeah, obviously it's just not on fire like it is now.
But when we showed up, man, it was rocking the first day out. I was like, holy crap, this is This is the epitome of like what every archery elk hunter is looking for, searching for in the woods is bulls bugling. They're responsive and they're willing to commit and come in, and that's what we experienced. And Logan shot an absolutely amazing bull. One of the coolest call-in scenarios. Clayton literally called this bull in from at least a half mile away.
Crushes it, yeah.
And he ended up in our laps basically at 7 yards, and Logan made a great shot, which you guys will see this video here shortly. And it was cool, but the real reason was to come up here and hang out with Brian. Like he just said, he just got out of the military. I just got to tell you, Brian, like I've always been very proud of our country and of our military. My grandpa was a colonel in the Air Force.
Awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Super big stud. And then my dad's...
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, I don't know if I told you guys that.
No.
Just spent 39 hours in the woods together. Yeah, that's cool.
Time wasn't right. Saved it for the podcast. So I was always very proud of my grandpa and all the stories he had to tell me about, his time in the military. And then my dad served in the Army for 8 years. And I was always very proud to tell people that. And I still am today, man.
Yeah.
So meeting people like you. And I always say this, like, one of my regrets, I don't have a lot of regrets in my life, but one of my regrets is I look back on my life and I said, man, I should have gave my time. Yeah. Just because I think it's so important. And I just want to tell you publicly, and told you this earlier this week, but man, thank you.
I appreciate it. Yeah,
absolutely.
Thank you. We all appreciate it. It's not just me.
Yeah.
I appreciate you saying those things about me, and obviously appreciate your sacrifice with your family and all that, and Big Ed over here, and me and Clayton have had moments up there in the woods. But yeah, it's for everybody. It's team effort. Everybody always says that. Like every crappy coach out there, they all say, "Oh, it's team effort." This military is a true team effort.
Yeah.
And wandering around out here in the woods with you guys, that's team effort also, and it's fantastic. You guys would all made fantastic leaders, but we need you here, and what you're doing now, that speaks volumes to your personality, and that's what it takes. Everybody's time to serve it's a moment in your life, and maybe your moment's now. That's fine, and it's appreciated. I promise. I appreciate you.
So these guys have been working on this idea, which is absolutely amazing. It's called the elk amino. Is that how you pronounce it?
El Camino.
El Camino.
So we switched the C and the K. They're very similar. I just found this out.
Yeah. English is funny like that. Letters make different sounds.
But it's pretty creative.
There's 27 of them.
There's 27 letters, all right?
So these guys had this wild idea, and I'll let them share it. But basically the idea was these guys were hunting a few years ago, and they came up with this idea, like, why isn't there an El Camino in the hunting space of you take an El Camino and go elk hunting with it?
Yeah, you go first.
Yeah. I mean, it was literally just hanging out, having some grub because you get super hungry. You get up crazy early, probably stay up too late the night before, and then go up on the mountain and do your job and go out there and go hunt with the guys and stay super focused and do physical activities. And it's hard, and so you get really hungry. That's the next thing all you think about. So we come off the mountain when the hunting kind of levels off, and we get going to a little barbecue joint down here and get to hanging out and talking about the morning hunt and whatnot. And I was, we drive out there and it's rough terrain and whatnot. And we're like, we need it. I can't really nail it down exactly.
No, I mean, we were just up and down hills and chasing elk around. And it was like, I think at the time we had found a bull that was put to bed, and it was, it was early season.
Yep.
Kind of early rifle season, hot as Hades, know, and we're like, that bull ain't moving till dark. Yeah. We might as well go hang out and just wait somewhere and end up,
Yep.
So we just sat down, had a big lunch and a couple cocktails, and so we got really smart.
Yeah, we got smart. We were like, and it just came up, El Camino. I've always messed around with vehicles and whatnot, and old cars especially, back when cars were cool.
Yeah.
And they weren't, push button on this and electronic that. It was carbureted and awesome, and, flames shooting out the ass end of it. And I was like, and it was like 4-wheel drive El Camino. I maybe seen one in my youth or whatever or something. We've always got like, stuff all over the internet, of course, too now. And we're like 4-wheel drive El Camino. And it just rang out, and we both looked at each other. We're like, done. We Googled it up, looked at our phones, and it was like, nope, nobody's done it.
Nobody's done it.
And it
happened so fast when you guys made that decision to do it.
Yeah, it went from that moment in time. And I drew a picture of this thing. That was in our mind. And I was like, this is what we want, right? And Brian literally found that thing like 2 weeks later in South Carolina, drove up and got it, and now this car exists.
If there's a 4-wheel drive El Camino in South Carolina, or near where I live in South Georgia, it's wandering around. Yeah.
So we, Brian took it upon himself to go get this car up in South Carolina, and the project, it was like, yes, we're doing this. How are we doing this? What does that look like? What are we trying to accomplish with it?
Right.
It is a sweet vehicle, but it's also a great way to tell a story about everything these guys do for us. And as I think, we already did an interview with the car, but, as I alluded to, it's we all get to exist in this space that is the ultimate Americanism. Like we get to go hunting and fishing all the time and do these things while there's dudes out in the desert, defending all of that. Mm-hmm. And so what better way than to take personalities from the industry and pair them up with these guys and let's go put them on adventures. Yep. That's what Clayton and I do all the time. I mean, we just think of like, hey, wouldn't it be cool to go duck hunting in, Nebraska, or go pig hunting in Hawaii, or, so we're like, let's just dream up a bunch of things, get a bunch of people we know, and let's put them all together.
Let's make it happen.
And see what happens. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's what I love about it, man, is, we're storytellers with our YouTube channel, obviously, and, we do, we film a lot of hunts and stuff. I think you guys enjoy them at home, obviously, hopefully. But I think the thing that we do the best is just help share somebody's story, and that's why this whole thing, like when you guys presented it to us, was just, so important. It's just it's not just an elk hunt. It's going to do an elk hunt with a little purpose behind it.
Yeah.
And I think you guys are still figuring out the pathway of the El Camino moving forward. But I think the most important thing is how can we, I was asking Brian earlier, he just retired, 27 years.
Yep.
And what's the toughest part of coming to your end in the military? What's life like after that?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it earlier. You just stop doing. It's like, imagine you guys just nope, you can no longer go hunting anymore.
Yeah.
Immediately tomorrow. I mean, not saying that. Now, I did a lot of hunting. It wasn't for elks. It was for other stuff. But
yeah.
It is very difficult just to be like, this part of your life is over, and it's the only thing you've ever known. So I get a little taste of it. Now being able to get this opportunity, with Ed and you guys, and obviously Clayton out here to kind of understand mine and others' mentality and how to kind of react with us during the hunt. But it's everything to come out here and have the camaraderie and the fun. But the best part about my military career was the places I got to go. That was a big reason I joined. My father's career military, and we traveled around. And I always wanted that. Also, I joined the Army and got to travel around and see everything. But my favorite part was the people and the places.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with hunting. It's the people and places, and it parallels so well. With the El Camino project, I think that's going to be fantastic. That it takes a lot of effort to go out hunting, especially something as big as this. Yeah. But you guys live here and you live this dream. But it takes a lot. There's flights and there's this and there's that, and it's a lot of effort. To go out there and go do that. So if some vet out there has got VA appointments twice a week, like I do now sometimes, or they're having troubles at home or whatever, if they can go to a trade show or if they can go to a thing and they know they like hunting per se, but if they can go out there and they see the El Camino and they're wandering around, they're seeing this booth and that booth, and then maybe they see that, they go, whoa, I know, I can relate to that, and instantly start talking. So the hardest part about the veteran space is we've got all these, a million veterans sitting out there. We were at the longest war in U.S. history that just abruptly ended, and all these guys got put on the street. I'm not going to get into all that and the politics and all the other things and the VA and all that, but there's a lot of us wandering around out there. Whether you did 1 year, 2 years, 4 years, whatever, families are hurting, they're hurting, and it's not always just money. Everybody's like, oh, throw more money at it, especially with the VA and all this other crap there. Throw more money at it. It's, they want that camaraderie. They need that in their life, whether they're physically unable to do it, mentally unable to do it. Just don't have the motivation to get up, so they watch your videos, and I do the same thing. There's hard days, So you get up and you go see it, or, if they go see this thing personally, put their hands on it and get to talk to you guys or whoever's around it, I mean, it's a game changer. May give them another day.
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing is, how can we use this El Camino to tell a story and help people out, especially the people that served our country and that we're so passionate about helping out. How can we use this thing? And, I think you guys have a good pathway that this thing's going to go. But, what it is just we came up here to meet Brian and hang out and hunt elk with him. But, we're trying to get this whole project started, and anything we can do to help Ed out and Brian out with this thing. But it's just been really cool because, again, elk hunting is amazing. It's fun.
It's unreal.
It's awesome. But just talking to you for the last 5 days and talking about through some of your time in the military, whatever it is, your family, how important it is, has been absolutely awesome. And if we can help tell that story and get help somebody out there, like, that's what we're passionate about.
Well, overall, I mean, I feel like that's the overall consensus in the hunting, framework. Right now, I do a boat charter now to Savannah, Georgia, and I'm not going to plug that too hard just yet.
No, you plug it right now.
Yeah, I will. But in that arena, in the hunting arena, hunting and fishing arena, you already, if you choose to go fishing, if you choose to go hunting, you already kind of know something about that person. Like, you already make an instant connection. Like, I know that you're kind of a badass, and I know what you're in for. Like, you know how to operate weapons, you know how to walk around in the woods. I know that you're pretty physically fit. Not myself at this moment, but possibly. Why are you looking down there? What are you doing?
You did this. You did this. Like, I was supposed to look, and I'm like, I thought you were pretty good.
There?
You're an amazing.
I'd like you to take your shirt off right now.
You're in amazing shape. That's happening. Surely. No, but you already know, like, those people that signed up for it. And the same thing when I do my boat charters. That's why I chose to do, I do historical and ecological boat tours out of Thunderbolt, Georgia, and just outside of Savannah now. And I love talking to people. A lot of people are, like, intimidated by people in crowds. And I'm intimidated by big crowds and all that. Still, of course. I fought through a lot of that and was supporting my wife and my kids and all that. Started doing these boat tours, and they're great. I get to meet new people every day. Now, I kind of see the same thing a little bit, but seeing them and I bet you're the same way being a guide out here. I come out here and I'm just, like, bright-eyed, and, like, I stop every 5 steps and I'm like, this is unbelievable. Yep. This is an unbelievable place. And so I always try to stop, and it's the people that are around you, to me, is what makes it. Helps me keep going and saying, hey, there's still something that I can do, after the military. But they signed up for that. So already who those people are. When they get on my boat, they know they're going to get wet. They know they're going to go on an adventure, and, it ain't got to be completely scripted. It's just like, hey, we're going to go on an adventure. What happens, and they're always excited about it. And I feel like it's the same way out here too. It's great.
And I think you've seen, like, hanging out with Brian now for a few days, like. This whole thing started, like, my philosophy of being outside, whether it's hunting, fishing, camping, whatever it is you do, it's about the drift. It's about sitting around like this, talking about, the campfire, having a cocktail, and telling people you don't have to, like, there's no horns, there's no grip and grin, there's no fish, there's none of that. Brian's, like, the epitome of it, because he started a whole business that's just like, I'm just drifting through life. Why don't you come along with me?
Yeah, low country drifters. That's it.
Yeah, dude.
I love you. You inspired me.
So, like,
me, dude.
Brian gets on his boat, and these people come along, and it's just like, let's go outside and hang out.
Yeah,
and it's just so fun. Like, I think about him every day. I'm like,
I do get those detail-oriented people. They text me like 6 days out. They're like, "Hey, what time are we leaving?" So I'll tell them, "It's like around like 9." And they're like, "All right, well, what are we gonna do after that?" I was like, I wrote back one lady. It was like the 10th time she texted me. I just wrote nature. I mean, it's out there. I don't know, because the tide changes so much, the wind changes, there's storms all over the place. I'm like, just, our tagline is get off the street and get in the water. Like, stop walking around shop to shop and doing all the commercial crap. Like, get in the water, and it's just going to happen. We're going to go shopping around on the water. Just we'll find something. If there's a dolphin over there, if I see some, whatever around the corner, if the winds change, or we'll go to whatever the tide is, maybe a low tide, we'll go to another beach because it's a better beach at low tide. And you can't plan it out. You just got, and honestly, you taught me that years ago. As I was transitioning out of the Army, I was working as a ROTC guy at Georgia Southern University. Go Eagles! Go Eagles! Not this past weekend. Anyway, whoever's watching this, that was rough. We shut it down for a day, hunt, and we watched the Eagles, and a lot of support in this room. That was great, but I was trying to brag a little bit and just. Coach, Badgers, I love you. If you watch this, Coach, I'm probably, we got to step it up, man. I still got eligibility, I think. I took badminton twice. I'm 6'6", 260. You get the
man shoulders kind of push humans around.
Yeah, I can push people around, right? Yeah. Me and Clayton will get on top of this later. We'll figure it out. But no, it's a great opportunity. And Ed really showed me a lot of different things in life that are possible, because he's drifting. It's not set in stone. It's not a dead schedule. And sometimes that would be frustrating. With my old job, that was unheard of. You can't do that. You can't do that. Every minute's got to be wrote down, and written down and be focused on. And everybody's got to be briefed on exactly what's about to happen, because it's life and death. But out here, he showed me, he's like, the rest of the world, he's like, let's go have fun. What's next? And I was being very, anxious about it the first couple times we hung out. What are we doing? We got this. I'm like dumping people's bags out and like seeing what they got. Make sure. I mean, I almost forgot my bow the other day. We went out. Like, oh, relax, bro. I mean, it's changed. It's like, oh, probably need that.
You did have, I think, 4 different broadheads in your quiver at one point.
For the hunting people, I apologize for that. Luckily, we don't have much video or footage of that. But that was stuff would have happened though. I had a pocket knife. We would have got something.
But talking to you earlier about the struggle with ending your military career and retiring from that is it's such a structured system that you're used to being told exactly what you're going to do, when and where, right?
Yep.
And so when you stop that, it's very tough for not just you, a lot of veterans, right?
It is. And one of the big things, I got out, I literally knew what I was going to wear every day.
Like you laid
just
out
think
on
about
the
that,
bed?
like clothing. Like I didn't know how to dress.
Yeah.
And when I wasn't at work, I dressed like an asshole. I had like all kind of weird crap on, like just whatever was laying around. Like, oh, I saw this video. Oh, I'll wear that. And you're like, no, like you don't know how to wear clothes, So even with my new business with Low Country Drifters, I kind of made a uniform for myself. We were joking around about it earlier. Like I have a thing that I wear, and I wake up in the morning, that's what I put on because I kind of needed that structure. I know my father dealt with that a lot too. He got out, and I'm like, what is he wearing? Like it's just craziness, or it's what you were wearing when you first joined.
Yeah.
So it's like what was cool in 1995 is what I was popping on in 2022. It's like no, you can't put that on, bro. Like no. Starter jackets are coming back though,
dude.
Like so Zubas, yeah, so that's pretty good.
But
so that was a huge struggle. So that's just a little taste, but that times 10. What you eat, what when you sleep, and I still don't barely sleep. It's like all those things. All the minutia of your entire life is controlled, and you embrace it. You have to, and you do if you're successful at it. And I feel like I was ish. I worked really hard at it, but you do have to embrace that lifestyle. But I do like that hunting brings that too. Like when I come here,
well,
we work hard and we play hard, and you get up early and you do what kind of do what you're told. Like when I'm out with I'm out with Clayton, he's like, stand here, and I'm like, yes. Like the first time we met, he was no holds barred. He kind of knew who I was, I think, or whatever, but it didn't matter. He was just like, we're doing this. And I was like, Roger, let's go.
Yep.
And we did it, and he knew he was the expert in that space.
Well, I think like one of the things that the military does too is like part of that is you don't need a personality. You show up to work.
Right.
You've got your buddies. You all take care of each other, and you don't. So you don't have that confidence level that you've gotten into your own thing. And so like when Brian came out here the first time, and he's like, dude, I don't know if I can do this. I mean, you've met Brian for 5 minutes, and like that guy's gonna do whatever he wants.
Yep.
Right. Like, and he's telling me this idea that he's got, and he's like, I don't think I can do it. I'm like, bro, you are like, if you want to go like conquer the world, it's on for you, dude.
Not everybody's got an Ed and a Clayton and a Hushin in their pocket,
for
though.
sure.
You know what I mean?
But I mean, that's the thing with the military. It's like
I tripped into like the lottery.
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing. It's like and part of it, like the El Camino project, the taking care of our guys, like telling this story is that these guys don't always know where they're going. They don't have the support network. They don't, and so being able to provide that brotherhood, whether it's through hunting, fishing, like sitting around a fire, whatever it is, getting on your boat, low country drifting through Tybee and drinking too much, whatever,
If you're a veteran, you want to go, look me up, Low Country Drifters, and I'll
link it down below.
I'll take you wherever you want to go, no charge. Like, come on.
But no, that's the important of the thing is taking care of your fellow humans, and frankly, like. The way we've got these supercomputers in our pockets, like we're more connected than ever, and we're not connecting. Yeah. We're not, and that's sorry, soapboxing on you, but
no,
like being around people, taking care of each other in the field, like really wanting to do these things. That's what's important. Doesn't matter, like dude.
Yeah,
believe me, like all the other stuff. Doesn't matter. Sitting around with your brothers, whatever those brothers are, sisters, whatever. Take care of each other.
Yeah.
Well, I think for me anyways, and I think you guys could relate to this, like growing up, I didn't go through hard times at all. I had a great family, fortunately, and I had a dad that took me out. But some of the most important lessons I've learned in my life, even now, like even being, a dad myself now, is most important lessons I've ever learned have been out in the woods, whatever it might be, like something would happen and it would kind of like show me something about my life. The sentence I always live by is everything happens for a reason. I figured that out in the woods the first
100%.
time. And that I relate that to my life is like things that will happen outside of Hush, and I'll be like, well, I don't know what that is now, but it happened for a reason. It's going to teach me something or send me down a path that I like. But what's cool about that is all of our businesses that we have is all the basis is getting people outside.
People. Yeah,
and especially with the El Camino project, that's getting the vets that might be struggling right now get out in the woods to hopefully help them through that hard time in their life of being out of the military now and like what's the next thing.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool. Clayton's the hunt director with Drift West, but what are some of the other things you guys do at Drift West?
Yeah, I mean, we're basically an adventure booking business. I mean, we book incredible adventures from, like Ed was saying earlier, from tarpon fishing in Florida one day to hog and deer hunting in Hawaii to going to New Zealand and doing stag, or Argentina to fish. I mean, we want people to go on incredible adventures and experience that. I did not grow up in a hunting family at all. Nobody in my uncle hunted, but I mean, he lived in other states over, and nobody in my family really hunted. And so I got to the age where I got to go out and experience bird hunting first, and then it just snowballed. I became obsessed with it, and I reached out to some outfitters and just said, hey, I just want to be a pack mule. I want to learn the business. I want to learn the industry. You don't have to pay me, just feed me, give me somewhere to sleep. And they're like, yeah, absolutely. That's a pack mule. You don't have to pay. Like, you're hired, right? So
There's
that's
food.
Exactly. So that's what I did. I mean, I went out and like I left jobs that paid me to go sleep in the forest unpaid just so I can learn the business because I was obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And so I just made a commitment that that's what I wanted to do, was to be a part of guys out in the mountains and experiencing that with them, like I did with Brian a couple years ago, and like we've done so many times. And that, to me, and watching like the success of clients and other people and other guides and everybody else, I mean, that to me, it's the feeling is unbelievable. So now that I get to do that for a living now, I can't stress enough of what it does for people to be in the woods and experiencing that and nature and the fresh air and hiking around. And I mean, it's a great escape.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been incredible.
Well, and Clayton and I, like, we joke about it from time to time. Like, guiding, like, we don't get to hunt and fish as much as we'd like to, for sure, for ourselves. There's nothing more rewarding than whether it be pushing a boat around and tying somebody up with a big fish, or rowing a boat, hunting elk, and like just the success in the field and that the whole thing. It's that I love that for me.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think I've said this a few times. I've got kids that hunt and they're very successful when we go out. But like, originally the plan was for me to come up here and elk hunt with you guys and hang out with Brian. And then, I was like, Logan, you need to take this tag. You're going to take the tag. And watching Logan experience his first like call in with the bow in his hand and actually drawing back and killing that bull was way more rewarding than any elk I've ever killed in my whole entire life.
Absolutely.
And that's what it's about. It's about getting people excited about the woods because I think it's such a powerful thing. It's such a powerful thing. The saying I remember was, I grew up going to church every Sunday. My parents would force me to be there. And I heard a saying years ago, and it reminded me of my childhood, what I thought. But, like, you can either be in church thinking about the woods or you can be in the woods thinking about God. And that's how I feel when I'm out there. Like,
that is cool.
Like
way
that.
deeper
I
than
do like that too.
Any Sunday service I've ever been to is just being out in the woods and experiencing what, the Creator has made for us and enjoying all of that.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, we've been doing this forever, like Ed and myself, and we've been doing it for years and years and years. And I got to tell you, I've done it all over the Western U.S. and been involved with, doing other stuff and filming this and guiding here and there, whatever. But this place is home.
Yeah.
What we do here, the camaraderie, it's just having everybody in camp and everybody who works with us here and guides and clients and everybody else. I mean, it's just it's a incredible experience.
Casey, how does this compare? Like, I mean, you guys had some fun here. We've been laughing a lot.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like you guys get to do everything, literally.
Yeah.
I mean, and we
jealous.
hope that you've had as good a time as we think you've had here, man.
I think for people that have watched us or people that know me like personally, they think that I'm like, I take hunting way more serious than I really do, which it's serious. Obviously, there's times to be serious, but man, our biggest goal with Hush is, man, we got to be enjoying ourselves. We got to be having fun. Because if not, like, why are we doing this?
Right.
We decided to start this thing years ago for a few different reasons. For me, it was to be able to wake up every morning and enjoy what I do and love what I do. But it's also to, like, just a better way of life. I was working at a steel mill before this, and, I was gone a lot. I was gone, 60 hours a week, And so I missed a lot of like taking kids to school and all that. But for me, like we've got to be laughing, we got to be smiling, we've got to be enjoying ourselves, because that's what the woods should be. That's what hunting and fishing and camping and all that stuff should be, is being out there and just enjoying yourself. And it's just such a reset, you know. When I go home, I feel like I'm just 100% better father, better husband, because I've been like had that time in the woods to kind of reset my mind and get myself in the right state of mind to go home and do the things I need to do. But I've had an absolute amazing time, and that's what I love about what you guys are doing with Drift West is, we don't do a lot of guided hunts, a lot of public or private land hunts, but when we have an opportunity, I'm gonna damn well take advantage of it, because it's amazing, right? Like I was been telling you, like a guy will go out and if he has 14 days in a September to go and hunt his balls off, he's hoping to experience like one morning that we've experienced out here. And I enjoy that. I love the grind. We'll go home from this hunt, and I'm planned on the last 7 days of September to go out on a public land over the counter tag by my house in Idaho and do a backpack hunt, and I'm looking forward to that, and I love that. But the opportunities you guys have up here and what you guys are doing, like the 5 days I've been up here, like the call-ins, the elk, like the vocality, like them talking back is what every elk hunter is trying to experience.
It's pretty primo.
So it's very special. But what you guys have going with, you guys are doing guided hunts, obviously, on a bunch of land, which is amazing. But you guys also, and what's cool about it is it gives you guys a chance to kind of cater a hunt to somebody. If it's a vet that maybe can't get around as well as most guys, like you guys can cater a hunt to that. But also you guys are doing like DIY trespass fees, which is awesome. A lot of guys don't feel like they need a lodge to stay in or a chef or anything like that. They just want to go and hunt, but they want to hunt in some land that they're they know they're going to be the only people in. So that's amazing. Drift West has a bunch of opportunities for everybody to do what they want to do. And I think that's pretty cool.
Thanks.
But so we're just going to book this week.
I like it.
For the next 10 years, I like
Perfect. I like it.
Can we get some more? Can we talk a little bit about the old YouTube channels with you guys that I'm sure your audience.
I cannot believe you just brought that up.
We spent last night. So
this isn't live, is it?
The No Business Lodge Bar. We sat here last night and we did some serious YouTube rabbit holing and found out that the patrons of this podcast have a former life that is something amazing.
I don't know if a lot of these people watching this know this.
I hope they will. They will also go down this rabbit hole, and we don't have to tell them specifically. They have to do their own inspector gadget stuff.
Own.
Yeah. But I have never laughed so hard in 10 years as because I didn't know. I had no idea.
It's not something I share a lot with people, but it was a big part of our lives. Like we did, when we started doing YouTube 12 years ago, it wasn't hunting. That hunting was going to hopefully be a thing that would happen.
Right.
But when we started, my my older brother was like the OG of YouTube. Like he was one of the first people to do it very consistently, and he started probably 14 years ago. 08.
Yeah.
And so he started it, and then we were all thinking he's crazy putting these family videos up, on this internet thing. And I remember sitting there, I remember having a conversation with my brother and being like, hey, listen, man, you have 2 kids, you have a wife, I know the internet thing is your thing, it's your hobby, but you got to get be serious about life and having this conversation with them. And fortunately for me, I was blessed to have amazing siblings, and my older brother kind of set me down and was like, listen, life's not just about just going to work because you have to go to work. It's about doing something you love, or hopefully finding something that you're passionate about and loving. And you can do that for a living. You can, you can make money, pay for everything you need to. And so he showed me the way, and we started doing it. And we did some pretty wild stuff back then, some pretty weird stuff. The video Ed's speaking of is we did a music video. Logan was the main character. He was dressed as Justin Bieber. But guys, you guys can go find out stuff.
Just like Justin Bieber.
Well, guys, and I do want to interject because I think it's the cojones to put that out there to your crew if you do put this out. But what it means to me though, when I saw that yesterday, is you guys are regular dudes, people. It's not like you just hunt and fish all day long and go out there and robots. I love you even more.
Yeah.
I don't want to compare it to the Trump mugshot, but it's It's up there with the trouble. I like the guy. I like it even more now. Like
Yeah.
I know that you guys, because everybody comes from somewhere.
Yeah.
And I get that a lot too. They're like always like, oh man, you were in the Army. Do you know so and so? It's like, no, there's like 2 million people in. No, I don't know who that dude is. Or that I'm just like some robot that, oh man, I need to stay away from that guy because he's dangerous. Like I'm a normal dude too. You know what I mean? So I thought that was great about you guys.
But I think kind of like you, like it speaks to their success too. That
100%.
That like the sense of humor that it was in those videos
So
and stuff.
good.
Like that's why you're successful now, is because you guys got the idea and developed it and like wrote it, and like you're clever freaking dudes that I was like, oh my, these guys.
And you're
I
fearless.
fell in love with all you guys. Like,
Yeah.
it was great.
and I can't. After seeing that, I can't wait to see what's next, where it's going to go.
Yeah,
and so I want
knows?
to even watch even more now because I'm like, if this is where it started, good God! Like,
I think
knows?
maybe bring some characters back into some of the hunting.
I think
stuff.
there's a few
Like,
that we could definitely bring back.
characters.
But again, like back to hunting, like that's how my life has been. Is I remember teachers telling me this, like not like I had a teacher in 5th grade. He was a dude, Mr. Calamari. He was a very good teacher, but he's very strict. And I remember, like, I wasn't the class clown, but I was always like enjoying myself, laughing, making other people laugh.
Yeah.
And he's just like, "There's a time and place for everything." Like laughter's. I think I base my life around like I can't take myself too serious, or else I'm gonna be not happy.
Yeah.
And so like with those videos where you're showing you, like we're just like being ourselves and laughing. There's nothing greater in life than I think than just sitting around talking to people and making each other laugh.
100%.
Agreed.
But I mean, that's like, I can't thank you enough, because like you guys just being here, I think you guys have had a great time.
Amazing.
And like, this is my favorite place in the world.
Yep.
The No Business Lodge is like, I've been involved with this place for 20 years. Like, I love it here. And like those moments sitting around the table, just doing stupid stuff, laughing your ass off, getting out in the woods, like, really thank you guys for coming.
Oh
like,
man,
really
we can't
appreciate
we
you.
can't tell you
awesome.
guys thanks enough for having us up there and sharing this piece of heaven with us, man. It's been I can't even describe it how amazing it's been, and being able to hang out with Brian and get to know him better, and just wanting to help with the project moving forward and what you guys have going down the pipe. I think it's amazing, and that's for me. That's why I love doing what we do.
Yeah.
Being in the woods is fun. I love hunting creatures, but it's always about the people to me, like you said earlier, and that's what it is. And there's some power that comes behind that, right? Like you can move mountains with enough force and enough people behind it. And so this project with the El Camino, I'm super pumped to see where it goes with the people you have lined up to take it out and experience it and share it with everybody. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, and a quick plug just so people know, like the Veteran Outdoors is the organization we're working with on this thing. There's going to be all kinds of opportunities to get involved with that and kind of follow along. Somebody, I think, procured the Elk Camino on Instagram. So
really?
Yeah, so definitely
follow it.
Follow along, because, there's some wild and crazy times coming for sure. For sure, yeah.
It's, I can't wait to see where this thing is at in just even a year from now,
Hopefully it gets some momentum, because I mean, the idea was at some point we auction this vehicle off, or we sell some hunts, or I don't know, I like just keep raising money and raise awareness. But who knows? Maybe it gets a life of its own, and the El Camino lives on for a while. But we'll see. And it is a powerful enough piece. Just that car on its own.
Oh yeah.
It will do things like this is baby day basically.
Yeah.
We have no idea where it's going to go, but when you see that thing and fire it up and hear that engine that Brian built,
Yeah,
it's
if you
like,
guys are watching or listening,
all right.
when you get in it, it's
Obnoxious.
as awesome as you think it is.
Oh, yeah.
Like whatever you have in your head, whatever you think it is, it's better.
It's better.
It's ridiculous.
It's better. And if
cool.
you can drive that thing to a small town anywhere in America, that might be the experience we need to auction off for Veteran Outdoors.
We need to.
We'll just trailer it to your hometown, and you can drive it to Main Street.
Well,
and
even like the stories you guys have, like going to town here, 5
Like to
miles
put-
away and
put-
getting
put
gas.
gas,
Like how many cars, like people turn around to come see what the hell that thing is.
Well, and everybody wants to meet you, and automatically, if you've made a U-turn in the middle of the road to go see that thing, and they want to come shake your hand, you know who they are.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's that thing. They're like, boom, you're instant friends.
Yep.
And you're going to take a picture with them. You're going to hang out. And it's not because you're famous. It's not because of what you did or anything. It's just an instant conversation starter. You're going to find out their name. You're going to find out your name. You're going to ask about what this thing is and why it exists. And then you get to tell that story. And that's the reason that it's on this earth, is to tell that story. Because it's not told enough.
Yeah.
And so if we could tie that in somehow, into like,
I like that.
that there's another day out there. That's what's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's the power behind it, man. There's another day out there, and anything can change and happen. But just again going back to like the brotherhood, like you were talking about, and when you said like if you meet somebody and they hunt or they fish, you're just like, oh, you're my people, right? Same thing with the car. Like they see that car and they want to come talk to you. You're like, oh, you're my people.
Yep. I had a Subaru and a motorcycle turn around the other day, so you can't judge.
Yeah.
I'm trying to picture, like, I've got my thought bubble right now. I'm like, which person is riding the motorcycle? Which person is driving the Subaru?
It was opposite from what you're picturing.
It was.
It was awesome. Both of them might have been rentals. I don't know. Yeah, it surprised me too. But it was awesome. Again, you can't judge people till they come and talk to you, and that's the reason for them to come and talk to you. It's great. Yeah. We had a good time. I literally was by myself, ran down the street to get gas so we could go take some pics and whatnot, and yeah, I had an awesome time. It was one of the coolest parts of my weekend was just riding down to the gas station in that thing because it automatically starts a conversation.
So you're 5 days out here. You've killed an elk. That's a pretty powerful story. The first time first time you came out here?
No, second time I guess or so or third. I don't know. Yeah,
to me. I don't
exactly. They don't blend together. Every one of them is unique. But I came out. It was the first time I met Clayton, and Ed introduced me to Clayton, and I was out here with a buddy of mine, another Army guy. Was in the Marines first and then joined the Army and is now an officer in the Army. Went to officer candidate school after being in for like 18 years, which is a hilarious thing.
By the way, America, you gave this guy a commission. Yeah. That is a problem.
That's Matt. Yeah, we'll leave his last name out of it. You can find him somewhere, I'm sure. But Matt is an awesome dude.
Yes.
Still out there. He's the reason he's not here. He's out there serving, like real deal. He's still out there doing it. I think he's got 18 or 19 years in or something, just still out there doing it, crushing it. But he was out here with us, and took us out the night before. We had shot I'm going to give like an abridged version with Clayton staring into my eyes right now, and he's touching my leg. You can't see it, but you can see both of his hands, but he's touching my leg.
He has a third arm.
So I've heard.
It's a family show. It's a family show. It's a family show.
So we go out, we shoot this. He sits me in, and like I've got my go bag from Iraq, from Afghanistan tour actually is the bag that I carry around out here. It's still got my name tape on it. I've carried on tons of missions overseas. Shout out to the 2020 or 2012 ADT tour that we took. Everybody that was on that. So we went out there and carrying that around, lugging it around, saw a lot of awesome things, learned a lot from Clayton hanging. I was like in his hip all day long, and just very professional and told me all about the different calls and what we're looking at, and the terrain and how they move and days of the time, the wind. I mean everything. I knew a little bit about hunting here and there, but nothing like that afternoon hanging out with you. So we get out there and we're kind of chilling. It was kind of the end of the day. We're like, it's probably not going to work out. But they got a really good area where you can kind of glass and like look at a big area. So we do that. I mean, it's a good way to round out the afternoon, hang out with your buddies. You ain't really got to be quiet. It's far away.
Yeah.
And if they're moving, they're moving. If they're not, we got a game plan to go hang out later anyway. So we do that. So we're having a good time, and Clayton's just on it, because he loves this stuff. Yep. So he's on it with his spot and scope, and he's like, got one coming down the mountain. I mean, it's like across a mountain. Like we're on a mountain, it's on a different mountain. And I'm like, I was like, okay, cool. And he's like, come here. And he shows me. I find him in the spot and scope. And he's like, dude, he's big. I was like, hell yeah. And I'm thinking, there's like, okay, well, maybe tomorrow or next year or something, we'll go find this dude. He's like, he's like, get down. So I go get my gun. I'm like, do what? And I've done some things in the military and all that, and did a bunch of squad designating marksmen, and military guys will understand what I'm talking about. We shoot out to like 300 yards. Marines shoot out to 500. I get it. That's going to be probably somebody's going to bring that up. Whatever. It's 223. I'm shooting a 7mm Weatherby mag I got from my father-in-law, and I'd shot it quite a bit before, in preparation to come out there. But I always think about it like that. All my deer hunting, I got all these big guns, and I'm shooting 500 yards. I'm dialed in, and then you shoot a deer at 7 yards right in front of your stand or whatever. So I'm thinking that's how it's going to go down. No, so I lay down and I'm like, okay, sure, yeah, we're gonna shoot at this thing. I was just kind of using my scope as a spot and scope, so I'm just kind of laying there. You range find it, you lays it. It's like what we call in the military. What did you say? 7?
He was 714.
714. I'm like, all right, cool. He's like, all right. Yeah, he's going to stop here in a second. Like, you were expecting me to shoot. I'm like, holy crap. I don't even know what that looks like. I was like, do what? He's like, and he looks at me, he's like, you've got this. And he even threw out wind, and I kind of flashed back to like a little bit of stuff I've done with some snipers and whatnot. And he literally called it out just like that. Like we zoned in exactly where to aim, and like he defined like what the terrain looked like, so I could identify it. He was like describing it perfectly. He's like, see that bush, and then there's a shadow line, and then there's this and that, and this is where he's going to move. I mean, it like brought me back quick, and I was locked. I was ready to rock.
Yeah.
And I started messing around, looking at my my reticles, and I was like, screw it, I can make this.
Yeah.
And so I took a shot. I was like shooting, and he's like, send it. Just like, I mean, it was like military stuff. It was awesome. I just met this guy, and we're like, yep, take a shot. And he's like, and you saw the impact. Because I didn't after the recall.
I saw the vapor trail all the way.
Yeah, you saw the vapor trail the whole way and dialed in. I mean, it was, for you military guys, it was impressive. It was impressive. So he sees the vapor trail. He's like low left, I think, or something like that. So I'm like, yep. So Kentucky windage, throw it up, high right. He's like, did I just barely go under him? Maybe he didn't even hear the first shot.
No,
didn't even realize impact. Had no clue. Had no clue. And the next one was closer, but it was still a little low. So I just hung it like I think he was barely in the scope. Oh, I just hung it like high right. And there was a little crosswind, so the wind was moving right to left on that side and left to right on our side. So it was crossing two different wind patterns.
Oh, wow.
And that third shot got him probably right rear. I think I hung it just a little bit high, right?
Yeah.
I just went for it on that one, but he was like hit. I was like, oh, yeah. And he still kind of didn't realize what was up. He's on a road, took a couple steps, and he's like, go for it again. He's like, same range, go. And hit him again.
Yep.
And he was like, he's like, definitely tough. All I didn't even look. I didn't even know if it had horns or not. That's how locked in I was listening to Clayton. He was just telling me what to do, and I was doing it. And it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome. So what was your take on that? I mean, how do you think it went down?
I've been, like I was saying, I've been involved in a lot of hunts and all over, and I got to say, man, that was honestly and truthfully one of the coolest, if not the coolest experience that I've had with somebody. I mean, just the leading up to that shot, leading up to the hunt, just talking, everything was, and it was emotional. Mm-hmm. It was incredible. And it after the shots, the bull had cows below him. He came out pushing cows. After the shot, everything ran down to that really steep drainage. Yep. And we weren't sure of shot. We weren't sure. So we backed out, came back the next morning, all of us did.
Well, that comes to your knowledge, too. Just to interrupt real quick. That comes from your knowledge. Me, I'm, with my experience and what little bit I know about even hunting, but especially what I know from the Army, I mean, I would grab my gun and as many bullets as I had and go straight down the hill. And just drop like 2,000 feet into like a herd of elk. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, Yeah. And you're like, no, we'll hold off. He'll be here tomorrow. I'm like, no way he's going to be here tomorrow. I don't know maybe he's going to get airlifted out or whatever. I don't know. But I was like, there's no way. And he's like, no, he's going to take care of these cows and he's going to pop up and then the sun's going to come up and the wind's going to blow from that way. And then it'll be like Hanukkah's coming. So he's going to do that. I was like, I don't know. So he knew exactly what was going to go down because he'd done it. That experience is and then all I did was listen. And that's what I'd done my whole career. I was like, got it. And that's who I was for my Army guys. I was like, hey, I'm telling you something. And the ones that soaked it in survived, and the ones that didn't. So I was like, yep. I was like, yes, sir. That's what we're going to do. Yeah. So we locked it back, and we went back the next day.
Yep, all of us, the whole group went in there the next morning, and for all of us to be there to experience that with you and be a part of that. It was pouring rain. You had an incredible poncho on.
We're going to talk about the poncho. So these guys, right? So I only know what I know. If the gear works, it works. So it's not a fashion show.
It works.
Obviously.
It 100% works.
Obviously.
Come out with a coral shirt on.
So I go out there, and I think I'm doing all right. I got some stuff on.
Salmon.
I had some nice jeans and some New Balances on. I was ready.
White New Balances.
So it starts raining. So I'm prepped, because I'm Army guy. I'm prepped. I get my go bag, and what's on the top of the boat go bag? What's the first thing you're going to need out of there if rain's in a forecast?
Poncho.
The poncho.
So I dig the poncho out. So I'm behind the truck, and everybody else has got their stuff ready, like some kind of, pull a drawstring reversible rain jacket or whatever they got on. And so I go around the back, and I put it on, and they don't see me. They don't see me put it on, but I've got my pack on. I've got my rifle slung in the front, which you always thought was kind of hilarious. I've got it like on a 3-point sling at the low ready. Yeah. Like I'm going to go kick doors in Fallujah. So I'm ready, but I put the poncho over because I don't need my stuff wet, and that's what we do. So I got the hood up. I got my whatever hat I had on. You made me take it off. It was ridiculous. So,
I can look at the picture.
I got pictures.
It was awesome. I don't know. I think it said like "Go Duck Hunting" 1992 or something.
Go duck hunting.
So I got whatever I got. It works. It keeps the sun out of my eyes and rain off my head. So I had that on, and I turned the corner, and I remember these guys looking at me. They're like, "What is that?"
Is that guy serious?
Because it's poncho, dude. It's like Poncho? It's like, yeah, Poncho.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll text you some of the pictures.
Yeah,
of that.
I need to see these.
It's pretty hilarious.
It
is hilarious.
Dry.
You were dry, though. It works.
Packs underneath. I sat
Get
down.
packs underneath. You got your poncho.
So that's
the
the great
packs
thing about a
underneath.
poncho.
Yeah.
It covers everything.
Yeah, you don't have
right?
to
When you
worry
sit
about
down, your boots are dry. You're good. You
Binos.
wait out the storm.
Yeah.
It's camouflage.
You just sit crisscross
Blended.
applesauce and you'll stay dry all day.
only for
It's underrated. It's underrated.
Underrated. So I got a poncho on. So I turn the corner, come back out. They get over that. They're like, all right, I got
get
zero
over
time
that.
to deal with this. We don't. We got to make a move.
We'll
They're
talk
like,
about this later.
We're like, whatever. You got to go. So Clayton's got his like hands on me. I mean, again, just met the dude, and he's like in charge, and we knew that. Like, didn't have to say very much. And he's like, this is what we're doing. I'm like, Roger. So I turn around. He's like, you ready? And I'm like sitting like this. He goes, I guess you are. So I'm like at the low ready, finger off the tree. He's like, whatever. So we turn the corner. He goes, when we turn this corner, you're going to see that bullet about right here. And maybe stood up, or he didn't stand up, or he was laying down.
He was
sitting
bedded-
down.
he was bedded down,
He was
yeah.
like, when you turn this corner, you're gonna see him bedded down. I saw his ass. It took me a couple times. Like, where are you looking? Where are you
Yeah,
looking?
it
Where are
looked
you
like a
looking?
rock.
It did. It looked like a
Yeah.
rock. They were really good at what they do. Like, they have awesome camouflage.
Like a rock.
Just like my poncho. So I turn the corner, and he's like, he's right there. I'm like, and then finally I realized, I don't know if he moved or I just focused in.
He stood up.
He stood up.
Yeah, he stood up.
And he's like, shoot. So, and I'm going to put this out there, and I'm going to get a lot of grief for it. So I'm used to shooting like an M4 in a situation. And that's how I felt. I mean, you got to
know what you
imagine,
did.
it's hard to describe my feeling in that moment. I mean, it's raining. I got an army poncho. I got a guy holding me like I'm going down the road, like, and I got a loaded weapon in my hand. I mean, that's a lot for me at that moment. So I turn the corner, and he's like, shoot. So I just instantly go up to, like, and some guys will know, like, close quarter combat stuff that are listening to this. I pull it up, and there's very little recoil with, like, an M4 or a 223, you know. A 7mm Weatherby mag with a scope that's probably set up. So I have it pulled up kind of at an angle because it's so close, and I didn't even kind of even need the scope. So I just kind of, like, look through the scope like I'm trained to do and have both my eyes open. And yeah, not set on my shoulder properly. It just, I mean, the whole gun came back. It just scoped.
Just
I got
cut
this
you
little
wide
scar
open.
right there still. You can zoom in if you want. So I got a little scar right there. But did I care at all? No.
You had the poncho on, so the blood didn't get on your clothes.
So Poncho just, I mean, he's like, all right, let's get shot. And I think I took another one.
Yeah.
And I felt that one, but kind of, got a little blurry. Took another one. That's when he turned around. He goes, "Oh my god!" I mean, it's just like it was aggressive. It was a lot of blood like coming down. And but he's like, he stayed so focused. He was like, you good? I was like, I'm good. And we moved and we turned the corner and we kind of quartered away from him. And he was still kind of standing there. And we shot what? I don't know how many more bullets I had in there. I think I reloaded.
Shoot him until he's dead.
And he's like, just keep shooting. I was like, all right. Because I was like, I looked at him. I was like, what do I do? Because it's, I mean, a 1,000-pound animal just standing there still. And I'm like, I've done a lot of shooting stuff.
Yeah.
Usually they go down by then. He was like, shoot him again. Mm-hmm. And so we shot him again, and he kind of slowed down, stumped down, and then just rolled down the hill.
Yeah.
And that's when we knew. And we walked up to him close, and you kept control of me. You had your hands on me still. And, I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot to take in.
It was.
And, so we walked over and, just sat there for 20 minutes. It felt like an hour.
Yeah.
And then Matt came up from the bottom.
Yeah,
Hey
so
guys,
the crazy story about that is my boy Matt is with
going
us. So he goes and he already filled his tag. He got one first day.
Oh God, that's the biggest thing about this. You are so these guys drove out from South Georgia.
We drove from Statesboro, Georgia to McCall to Idaho.
Our friend Matt is a chirper. Like he first day out shot an elk, and I can't imagine.
Self-proclaimed
If Brian
Western
hadn't
big
shot
game
this
hunter.
elk, how that trip
drive
going
home.
back just
We had 3
he was
days in
calling
the car.
himself Western Big Game Hunter.
He's from Douglas, Georgia. Yeah, big game in Western Georgia is like, I don't know, like a field mouse. Yeah, I mean he was in it. He bought
so
stuff
good.
online that said it on there.
Oh, jeez.
He was ready the day before. So yeah, we had to. So he rolls out with us. Obviously, the next morning we all get up, and like Clayton was saying, we got the whole crew.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody comes out full support, which was amazing. I mean, these people are
course.
taking their time off of their own hunts. And what a big deal that is to go out, and help me out with my deal, which was unreal. Again, the camaraderie. Just, hey, we got to get this done. That's the objective. Let's get this done. Rain in, crappy weather, muddy out, slick roads.
Oh, it was
Remember
bad.
the roads were nuts.
Yeah, the roads
I
were
mean,
bad.
it was not ideal. The day before it was, but that day was not. And for people to get up off their butt early after a big night was a lot. So again, just the reason I'm here. So we get down there, and my buddy, right when we got there, we're like, he went down there 100% because that's what we were talking about. We saw him go down there with his cows.
Yeah.
So we go down there, and me and Matt are going to take off, and we're like, all right, we'll go down there. You guys will hang on the hill. We're going to bump him. I got my rifle. Matt's down there helping me out, spotting me. So we go down the hill, and I forget my phone. And I'm like, hey, hang right here. So we're probably 100 yards down, like the steepest slope in America. Like, it's straight down. And I'm like, how did this animal get down there? So
Fun
I'm like,
fact,
all right,
steepest hill in America is right here.
It's right there. Yep. So I'm like, crap, I need my phone because if we, get into something or if they move, we're kind of screwed. It's kind of a big deal, because we're kind of all latched to it. It's just what it is. So he's like, I'll hang here. And we're already out of breath from going downhill. So we're like, all right. So I climb back up, and as soon as I get up there, Ed's shuffling down the road, and he's like, hey, he's got him. I'm like, shit. So I kind of look back at Matt, and he's already like laid down, hunkered down somewhere. I don't know. So I don't know where he's at. He fell down or something. So I'm like, all right. So I go and I'm like, I forgot my phone. And that's when it rained. That's when I put the poncho on. So all this goes down. So we take all those shots, and Matt's still down in the gully.
Oh, jeez.
So we're literally like on this little road, and it curved around. We took a couple shots over that bend, like over that gully that he was under.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's served a lot of combat too. He was like Djibouti, Africa with the Marine Corps, and Iraq with us, and Afghanistan, did a tour with me in Afghanistan, like some stuff. So like rounds sound different, going over your head. And I know that's the first thing I thought about after we got the elk down. I'm sitting there and I'm like, shit, the rounds are
Where's Matt?
not good.
Where's Matt?
So we get all this done, and everybody's high-fiving, and the elk's dead and all that. And after I saw the elk, you kind of pumped it all up and everything, I was like, man, I forgot about Matt. But he's not going to enjoy that part of it. But anyway, he comes crawling out because, again, steepest slope in America.
Yeah.
So he comes crawling back out. He's like, what's all the shooting going on, man? He's hot. I mean, literally hands and knees crawling out of this hole in the ground. It's next to this road. Muddy because it started raining while we were down there. He didn't have a poncho with him. It was in the truck.
He was wet.
So he's soaking wet.
Ponchos, kids.
He comes climbing up the thing, like holding onto branches to pull himself up onto the road, and just kind of rolls onto the road. He's like, what are you guys up to? What are you guys doing up here? We got this huge elk. He's like, oh my God. And then I'm covered in blood. He's like, did the elk get you?
That's what they do,
no,
man.
That's
You
the
should
first
know
thing he
that.
said.
You're a big game Western hunter.
He thought the elk had like stabbed me in the head or something. He's like, no, I scoped myself. So he immediately starts laughing. And then I give him crap about being down a hole. And then we all hung around. It was a nuts thing.
It was cool.
It was cool.
An
so we
awesome
drove all the
experience.
way here with a giant ice chest in the back of my Toyota Tundra.
Yep.
Deep freezer.
Deep freezer that would hold just enough to hold 2 elks. So we came out here with pretty high confidence. And we drove back with 2 elks in that freezer.
2 elk.
And it was awesome.
Not elks.
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 2 elks.
What I love about that story, man, like we were talking about earlier about how powerful the outdoors is and hunting and fishing, like, that obviously a very like close story to your heart. And me and Clayton talked about that before we ever even showed up and how powerful that was. But like that one little experience can not only change your life, but it can change a bunch of people's lives moving forward with your kids and how that works. Like you pass that down on to them, and then what does that look like in 15 years from now?
Well, that's the plan. That's what keeps me going, is to feel alive again, like be able to do something like that. To be able to hand that out, just to prove to people that there's, because and we keep tap dancing around, but I'm going to bring it up, is like there's a huge suicide rate in the military.
Yeah.
So not to kind of bring it down or whatever, but that's a big thing, and that's my big push, and why I work so hard in like the El Camino and other projects like this, and what I want to continue to do with my company, Low Country Drifters, is to still stay in and still stay focused. I mean, the fight's not over. I've lost. I have a big tattoo on my arm that has all the names of the soldiers I lost in combat. But my last tour in 2012, my whole goal of going on that deployment, was, when you get there, you talk about the mission, you talk about politics. And all that. None of us give a crap about any of that. It's the dude sitting on the left and right of you. That's the only reason you go. And that's the only reason I went again. So I went again, and I got put in charge of a personal security detail for a general, and to do like an agriculture development thing. And we were in a really hot spot. It was a very tough mission. But I brought the right people. I got to bring whoever I wanted, brought all the right people. I mean, just amazing dudes. And we all came home. So win, right? Nope. Still people passed away since then, Yeah. So the fight's not over. And I never really thought about that much. And you always think like, that's cowardice. But it's so tough. But everybody hasn't gotten an opportunity. Like I've got to see what life is outside of that, and kind of feel that again, and feel that camaraderie, and know that, there's a path, to go, to move forward, and like sitting there with Clayton, like when I was sitting there feeling, it was very emotional, and he just grabs me, whatever, like, you need that, you need that. Obviously, I have my wife and my kids are everything to me, and my family and my dad, all my, family members and all that. That's all very, very important. But to be in that, emotional thing and have like a united or, a thing that's between you guys, you guys in an event like that, that's a huge impact.
Well, and it's super special to us too, to be a part of that and be there with you. And
it's awesome.
The hugs and everything. I mean, it's just sharing an experience like that together. It bonds people. I mean, it better than a lot of things do.
Good. Yeah. And you guys deserve every good thing that ever comes your way for that.
Well, I think
we got you, buddy.
That's the power of the El Camino, man, to help tell that story and help people like that.
I hope it is a platform. Yeah,
for sure, it's a platform to help those, that go through the same things that you've gone through after exiting the military and the hard times that you've gone through, and like you can be a voice for that, and the El Camino can just be the piece of it.
Awesome. Yeah, I hope so.
For sure. Well, I think that wraps it up, man. I appreciate you sharing some feelings and thoughts and stories. You guys.
We were hunting earlier, and now I'd reek. I thought we were doing. Yeah.
You do, dude.
Time to shut it down.
I thought coral would smell better than it does. But.
I know.
Hey, I do want to say one thing real quick. We've like, jeez.
He doesn't like being inside.
Why you got to make things awkward? No, I'm just kidding.
If you come out here, you can do whatever you want to Clayton.
That's actually in the agreement. You can do whatever you want to Clayton.
It's at the very bottom of the website.
That is not in the agreement. Don't lie to people. I will say, though, having you guys in camp and sharing Logan's first archery bull with you guys how that all came about and how it all happened and went down. I mean, that was one of the most intense, coolest, satisfying hunts that I've ever been involved with. So to do that with you guys and it's a heck of a way to kick off a great relationship with you guys and a lot of stuff in the future.
That's awesome.
Thanks for coming. It was incredible, and I can't wait to see that when it comes out.
Yeah, we can't tell you guys thanks enough for having us out here and letting us, share camp with Brian and everyone else that's been in camp. It's been our pleasure, man, to be out here with you guys.
It's been fun.
Yeah, you guys rock.
Seeing your slice of heaven, man, that you've been developing over so many years. All the hard work and stuff is coming to a head, I think, with all these projects and what you guys have going on. I'm super stoked for you guys. Drift West guys, if you're looking for a hunt, fishing trip, whatever it might be, these guys are the people to call without a doubt. I've done 2 hunts now with you guys, and it's been amazing. I always say, like, if you want to know who somebody is, go spend a few days in the woods with them. And I think it's probably like day 10 or 12 with you in the woods anyways. Yep. And I can tell you, you're, like I said earlier, you're my people.
Absolutely.
Real deal.
All of you guys. And it's been a pleasure, Brian, to get to know you better, man.
It's great to meet you guys. Sorry I didn't watch your channel before.
No.
It's probably aggressive. That's probably aggressive to put out. I watched a lot of, because I didn't even know what an elk looked like before the first time I ever came out, so I Googled it, and then YouTube comes up. Watched some other ones, but you guys were on there. I don't know. Maybe I'm sure I did watch a few. But,
you guys are on YouTube,
my kid is like obsessed now. You guys are amazing, and you're real people, and I'll be a lifelong subscriber. I mean, it'll be everything. I just want to follow y'all's journey too. Now, especially knowing you guys. I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome to see what you guys do, and just keep doing it. I mean, because it's important. There's somebody sitting on the couch right now, wishing they could have experience like I've been so gifted to have, and they're going to live that through you guys and say, all right, there's another day.
Yep. Well, guys, thanks for watching another Hushlife podcast. Man, I'm just full of emotion right now.
Yeah.
But again, thanks for your guys' support at home. You guys are the reasons that we're allowed to be right here at this table with these amazing men. And I can't ever tell you guys thanks enough for the opportunity you've given us to meet some amazing people and do some amazing things, hopefully. And that's what we want to continue to do, is help tell other people's stories. So thanks again, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Casey.
Nailed it.
Go Birds.